bring in Brooklyn. He's our expert.
Welcome, what's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Ready to talk some VR, man.
Let's talk some VR.
We're ready. Since I don't know nothing about it.
That shocks me, but I also love that because there's nothing that's more fun than to be in the same room with someone who's never played VR before and put the headset on them and throw them into a few games and experiences and just watch their minds be blown. or watch them be in sheer terror, which is actually more fun for me.
Or they get sick. I imagine some people get sick with all that motion.
No, you know what I notice a lot with people that have never played VR before? They don't know how to hold the controllers.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's like, yeah. And there's a few, like when you get into VR, there's a few things that you have to do because number one, everyone's eye spacing is different. So if you really want to get the best out of it, you have to make sure you dial in the lenses to the spacing of your eyes to get the clearest image. And, and make sure you just have the headset on correct and tightened, ready to go.
So it's like going to the eye doctor, getting the lenses.
It's not that intense, but we'll get into it as we move through like the history of VR. If you guys want to get into it, but like some of the newest stuff, what you're able to do is
when you're playing
incredible.
though, you can't see your hands at all, right? Like you can't see anything. Like you just see like a screen.
Well, Brad, here. So I'm gonna give you guys an example. So these are Meta Quest 2 controllers. So basically this is how you hold them. I don't know why I give them to people, they're all wonky. It's very simple. Finger on the trigger. This is your finger. Grabbing. It's natural. And you have your sticks to move and you have your buttons. But the thing is what VR controllers do differently that a standard video game controller doesn't do is they actually know if your fingers aren't on the buttons. So if I do this motion here, well, in VR, I'm doing a thumbs up. One of the cool things that they've been working on. Is that a sensor
at the top of that senses stuff? Or is that just like a card?
These buttons can sense when your fingers are on them.
Okay.
In your placement. It's very natural.
What's that circle thing do? The circle thing does nothing?
This circle here?
The whole...
Or this around it?
Yeah, the thing.
Well, VR has come a long way. When I first got VR, I would say it's probably like 7 years ago already. When the Rift first came out, you actually had a single sensor bar in front of you that would detect the VR, right? And you basically held an Xbox controller, and that's how you can control the games.
Oh wow.
As things progressed, they finally released the hand controllers, but then you needed to have two sensors behind you. That way, when you turn, they can actually sense you now being able to stand and move around and move your arms. It was great for the time, but what really blew it out of the park and changed the game is when this came out. Okay.
How did that change the game?
Where this changed the game is get rid of your computer, get rid of any single tracking, get rid of any wires. Just charge this up, put this on, and you're ready to go.
So initially you had to be connected to like a PC or computer to do VR?
Correct. It ran completely off the power of your computer.
Okay.
There was a lot of wires. There was a lot of setup involved in it. You had to get wiring around your whole room to have all the sensor bars around.
Oh, wow.
If something got blocked, it can lose your tracking and then things get all wonky. This is the Oculus Quest, the original.
Okay.
This changed the game big time. And then when this came out, This is what brought.
These still have wires, right? Connected to the headset.
There's no wires. This is what brought.
There's no wires at all.
Yes, this is the Oculus Quest 2. So this is the generation after. This is what made VR mainstream. This is what made it approachable. This headset is twice as powerful as the Quest that I just showed you.
Wow, it's smaller too.
The comfort is insane. So this is called the Elite strap. I never even used the original strap. This is the Elite. It's very simple. You put it on, dial it in, and I also, of course, do not use the foam that it came with. You go on Amazon and you replace it with these comfort ones. This is almost like a memory foam. And dude, you can be in this thing till the battery runs out. And it's just.
How long is that? How long does the battery last? Like that's wireless, so it's charged.
You can go a couple of hours on this. And what's amazing is these controllers. You put one AA battery in this thing, and literally forget about it for about 6 months of playing.
Wow,
before you have to change it. One battery.
It's very low power for the controllers.
So, and now the game is about to change again because now we have the Meta Quest 3 coming out. Already? It's going to be even smaller than this. It's going to be twice as powerful as this, and it's going to have what are called pancake lenses, which I've never even gotten the opportunity to try.
So like, yeah. What kind of money are you talking about? Like for that? That's the Oculus.
When this came out, this was $299. It did go up in price. I think it starts at $399 now.
Okay.
And you basically buy all the games in the headset.
Okay.
Everything's just in here. The games are stored in here.
The games are inside that too, like that headset.
So that's your console, basically.
And think about it. Think of it as if you have a step up. You have ones that come with more internal space to store games. Not memory, just like internal storage, so you can store more games.
How much does that hold?
This one, 128 gigabytes.
128 gigabyte. Is it the games like the visuals? Are they like iPad level, or are they like? Well, how would you like graphically? Now, obviously, like it's your field of vision is completely like everywhere you look, you see the game, right? Like if you turn your head, it's like you're inside it, right?
It's not when you turn your dude. Once you put that on and you have it locked in, you're in the game. It's not like playing what you're used to, a video game on a screen. Okay. So everything is to scale. If something is gigantic, well, it's right in front of you and it's giant. So all I can imagine is take any video game world that you've played, but put yourself inside of it. Wow. Wherever you look, you're in it.
So it really feels like you're in it?
Yes.
Wow. Does it have any kind of vibration or anything like
the Quest just in the controllers? I was touching on this earlier, but we started moving on. In the Quest 2, what they've also done, and they've highly improved it, is if you put the controllers down, your hands just show up in front of you. It tracks your hands. You can just move your fingers. Okay. And it's instantaneously. They've recently updated it where you can just touch things like you were on an iPad. It's still in its early phases, but they actually finally released the game. I haven't gotten to time to try it yet because I've been so busy on the PSVR 2. But there's I think it's called Rogue something. But the entire game, you can't play it with anything but your hands. And
oh wow! So you don't need.
I heard they nailed it. Yeah, you totally play the game just with your hands. There's no controller option.
That's pretty damn cool.
So the helmet sensor can detect it even when you're not holding the controllers. It can detect.
As soon as you put the controller down, a half a second later, it just picks up your hands.
Wow!
Wow! How does it do that? Are there cameras in the headset thing?
You see the 4 cameras on the front.
Oh, is that those there?
Oh, okay.
I thought those were screws.
I thought they were too. Those are cameras.
What's cool is it's called inside out tracking. So when VR first came out, like I was saying, you would have to string up wires around your whole room for sensor bars. Yeah. Now it's inside the controllers. It's inside the headset. So it doesn't, you're free to walk around. They have a brand new game that came out that you literally have to map an entire room like within like a 10 feet radius all around and have space, because the only way you can play this game, it's almost like an Indiana Jones type expedition, you're trying to avoid traps, but you actually really have to walk around your room in the game to, you don't use the stick to move. you walk.
You probably need like a carpet mat or something just so you could feel with your feet, so you're not like walking into walls and stuff.
You can, but the thing is with VR2 is on any modern set, the first thing you do when you set it up is you're in VR, you got your stick, and then you just hold this, and you can see your room, right? You draw your barrier around your room, and you set the height of where your floor is, and then that's it. So when you're in VR, if your hands or you start getting close to that, you can adjust how sensitive you want that to be. That will start showing up, so you know you're getting close to being out of bounds and you're about to punch your TV off the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be me. I'd probably put my hand through my TV.
Yeah, so like here in the arcade, I played in here, but it's a bit tight, and I don't trust that, I'm gonna swing a golf club and smash through one of my arcades. So
yeah,
I don't mess around too much up here.
I'd have to set it up in my other
I go downstairs in the living room, and I have like a 7-foot by 7-foot place where I could walk around.
Now, do you ever use the PlayStation? Because I know the PlayStation's got. I just wondered if you had any experience on a PlayStation.
I had the original PlayStation VR the day that came out. That there was a lot of like breakout boxes and stuff to hook that up, and it was kind of like a thick, heavy wire. But there was a lot to it to setting it up. But it was a great concept, but it wasn't fully thought out, because what they did on the original PlayStation VR is, if you remember on the PlayStation 3, we had the Move controllers. Remember, they were trying to like match what Xbox was doing with
those are the ones that had like Kinect. The little ball,
the little
on top
glowing
with
balls
the
on the top.
Yeah, I never got into that.
Okay, well, I have the PS3. I had Move, so my Move controllers were just packed away for who knows how many years. All of a sudden, this comes out, and they decide they're going to do their tracking with a PlayStation camera and the Move controllers. The thing is with that is it kind of breaks the immersion, because it would lose the tracking of the controllers a lot. It was basically sensing the glowing lights on the Move controllers.
I can see that.
But here's the problem. The camera's in front of you. What happens when you turn around in VR? Now the camera's behind you. So you would have to like fake turn. You know what I mean? In a game, you would have to like use a stick to turn around, not really turn around. With inside out tracking, it doesn't matter which way you're facing, because the tracking is coming from inside the headset and the controllers. That's where I got this right here. Figure 3. Hold on. That's where this comes into play.
The first one you held up was the Oculus One. Then the white one was the Oculus 2, right?
Yes.
And this is the PS.
This is the PlayStation VR.
VR2.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw you playing that on your channel, which you do a lot of VR game streams. Yeah. I saw you playing that Horizon game, and that really impressed me. I mean, the visuals of that and just the way it looked, it really impressed me.
So here's where they stepped it up. Obviously, with the resolution, it's a wider field of view. It has eye tracking, so it can track your eyes when they're moving around. It knows if you're blinking, and they integrate that into some of the games. Not many yet, because it's still relatively new. The controllers have adaptive triggers. So what that means is, if you've ever played with a PlayStation 5 controller, that's one of the most amazing things, and why I love the PlayStation 5 over every home console, is the controller makes it. Well, they took the technology from the controller and put that into their new VR controllers, which are basically almost a copy.
Looks a lot like the Oculus. Is that the PlayStation?
It looks like this, but it's different. Like, your hands are like, the ring is bigger, and your hands are almost like, the ring is like almost around your wrist.
Okay.
But the thing is this. Their controllers, of course, vibrate, but the triggers, let's say you pick up a gun, right? You can feel the bullets like rattling around in them in some of the games. If you go to fire the trigger, it's going to have hesitation. You're not going to just, like this, when you hit the trigger, it's always the same.
On and off, huh?
On the PlayStation VR 2, depending on what kind of weapon you're using, the trigger's going to have a different resistance, or it's going to it'll even have a click to it.
That's pretty cool.
Know? So
that's pretty neat.
And the actual headset itself has it's a mild vibration. It's nothing intense, but man, it adds to a game, you know, just feeling that when something happens. Like when one of those gigantic robotic dinosaurs all of a sudden pounces, you feel the vibration in your head. And that little bit of extra just adds to it.
How do the hands vibrate?
Yeah,
I'm sure they have vibration in the controller.
And you know, it's just but the thing is, so you got your one wire, it's just a USB-C, it's a really long cord, but that is running 100% off of the power of the PlayStation 5.
So it has one so you are wired basically with the Oculus 2, you're wireless, and with the PlayStation VR you have one wire.
One wire.
Okay.
Well, we're talking PlayStation VR 2. The first PlayStation VR.
Sorry.
There was a whole wire system. It was a lot more going on with that.
So what's that one wire go to on the PlayStation?
The one wire just plugs right into the front of the PS5 into a small USB-C.
So it's got to be connected to the console. Okay.
Yeah, and it run. So what it does by it running off the console, think about that. That's a whole lot less technology they have to have inside the headset. So what does that do? That makes the headset lighter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Don't have all that weight in the memory.
And that's a big thing about VR is comfort. Another thing is the design of the PlayStation VR. They call it a halo strap. So actually this one you're strapping on and tightening, and it, you know, squeezes into your face. But with the way I have it set up, it's very comfortable. On the PlayStation VR 2, it's a halo strap. So it's basically holds, you tighten it to your head, and then you just hold the button and you adjust the front into your face. But basically it's almost like wearing a hat.
Okay. It's kind of like gripping around your skull, huh?
And the PSVR 2 has a OLED screen, so you're going to get deeper blacks, and that, you know, it's weird. Like if you listen to a lot of VR people that just play all the time, there's positive and negatives to everything. You know,
yeah, it's like anything.
Is how about game like I know, like, you know, when I look at a console, like one of the things I look at is the game selection. Like, is one library a lot bigger? Can I have more choices with Oculus than I would have with the PS2 VR? Like, are the libraries the same size, or is there like more selection, less selection, about the same selection?
No, you're not going to have the Oculus. You're going to pretty much have the most, because you can also hook this up. You can also hook it up to your computer with a cord that you can buy for it, or you can actually just stream it wirelessly. So then you can buy PC VR games in Steam and play those as well.
What's the advantage of connecting it to the computer then? You said with the Oculus, it's all inside the headset.
If you have a badass gaming computer, when you turn this on, the games that are just put in this, even that, like, so you'll have games for this that are also on PC VR, right?
Okay.
If you play the ones that are on this, and a lot of times when you buy them, you get both. But if you play them on this, there's not going to be settings. You put it on, and it's already optimized to play on this. So it's going to play the best it can possibly play. If you have a badass gaming computer, and then you turn on the same game, you could tweak the settings. You can make
higher graphics and stuff,
higher resolution. You'll see a little more effects like smoke, and the lighting effects are going to be better. But
do you play it on the computer, or do you prefer just to have it wireless? Like,
I prefer
you've used
wireless.
it a lot. So.